Hi, I'm here to show you really quickly how FZRandomizer works. And it's going to take a little while, but here we are in a brand new Blender session, and we have to create a brand new scene to basically just, view a bunch of different random objects. So I'm just moving the camera there, Control-Alt-0, and that's where our camera is. So we have this, the default cube, let's just keep that. And we're going to Shift A and create a whole bunch more new primitives. So we'll create a circle, we'll create a cylinder, and you can't see these because they're all sort of within the sphere, but it doesn't matter. Cone, we'll create a torus, and so if I hide all of those, you can see that they're all there. And if I one by one unhide them, well, not the light, but cylinder, cube, cone, circle. Actually, the circle, you can't really see the circle, so we'll delete that. But we will add a, what did we want? A sphere. That's what I was actually looking for. So we have a sphere, a cylinder, a cube, a cone. And let's also do a, so we'll go here and we'll move this thing. We'll just, what am I doing? Grabbing that thing. We'll just move that thing up there. Now we will create a whole bunch more random primitives, but here, up here in this area. So another cube, another cone, another UV sphere, and we'll even add in, hell, why not? We'll add in a, where is she? We'll add in a Suzanne. We'll add in, what else? Can we, a gear? Maybe we'll rotate that. So you can see it. And basically we're just gonna, I'm still with my little cursor dealy there. So we're just gonna select all of these, hit M, and put them in a new collection. And we'll just call this top stuff. So if you notice, if we hide this, that's all the new stuff we created. We're gonna unhide all of the bottom stuff we created earlier, and we're going to just do the same thing. Hit M, create a collection, and call this bottom stuff. So, right. So actually, what are we doing here? Let's go back to FZRandomizer and realize that we, did we? Yeah, this is important. We should pick a output folder. So we're gonna just random test. I already created that. And we'll pick an output file name. How about random test renders? And this is really the important part here. So you want to go to build a host collection, and you can just name it anything. Awesome stuff. Random. I don't know why. Next. You have to make a sub-collection. So everything that gets randomized gets put into a sub-collection. So there's basically different categories that you're going to randomize, right? Like if you want to randomize a character's hair, then all of the hair, different hair options, different hair objects would go into one collection. So, it could be anything, right? So we're just doing top and bottom elements here. So I'm just going to add a collection here, sub-collection called top, and a sub-collection called bottom, and hit build. Now if you notice here in our little outliner, there is a new collection called Awesome Stuff Random, and there's 2 collections within that collection, top and bottom. So now if I take all of this stuff and just move it to that collection there, take all of this stuff and move it to this collection here, I can actually even these other collections here that can just get deleted. We don't need that anymore. So we have basically just random objects in 2 collections inside of this main collection called Awesome Stuff Random, right? That FZRandomizer generated for us. So all you need to do from here is you need to, well, okay, so let's actually see what this is going to look like. Okay, I mean, let's give it a little bit more of something going on, right? So let's make a plane, and so we have kind of a bottom to our scene here, and I'm also going to create another light. Give this one a little color. Give this one a little color. Just so now we have something kind of semi-interesting. I don't know. So we can at least see our objects better, right? And why not? We'll just, while we're here, we'll just give these objects different materials. That's the word I'm looking for. So just to sort of make this more interesting. And that's all we need to do. We can just go to our collection here and just be like, okay, Taurus, what do you want to be? Do you want to be blue? Sure. You know, the sphere can be whatever. Oh, I think I just changed the Taurus. This can be blue. This guy can be red. The cylinder can be whatever it wants to be. But there we go. It can just be that. Anyway, you see what I'm doing here. I'm just giving these things different colors just to sort of make it fun. We'll make this one like a purple. And same story here. Just so they're like identifiable, you know, or more so. So back to camera view. That's our camera view there. So if I turn them all off and they're all invisible, well, it doesn't matter. See, they'll all render, right? If I hit F12, they all show up in the render still. But that is neither here nor there, because all I need to do is hit generate variants. Oh, well, I have to pick unique variants, choose how many variants. Well, first calculate possibilities. So there's only 30 possibilities because we have so few primitives here, right? Actually, I already made some variants. So delete variants. Here's a little thing too. If you noticed, after I deleted, some people think this is a bug. It's just a little thing. So after you have everything set up, you have your FZRandomizer builds your host collection here and stuff. So if I create some variants, generate variants, it makes a proxy thing here. But okay, so getting back, if I delete my variants, it looks like FZRandomizer goes away, right? Like the host builder is there, and you're like, oh, where's my whole thing that I built? It's a little weird, but you have to actually click on one of the objects in your collection, and it comes back. So it's just, if you even want to call that a bug, I don't know. I don't think that is. I think it's just to view this tab completely, you have to have one of the actual objects selected. So once you do that, you can see it all pops back, and we have no variations because we just deleted them, right? So first thing you might want to do is hit calculate possibilities to see how many possibilities you have possible. Then from there, we could choose 30 variants. Let's just go 20. I want them all to be unique, so I'm going to check that. And then generate. And then once it does that, it'll generate this proxy thing here. And I guess it's okay, yeah. So the proxy basically has all the possibilities in there. It's kind of a interesting thing. Modifiers. Anyway, so if you hit still images there and then render variants, well, first let me go to my output settings. They're probably pretty weird. Like, what is our resolution? EV, okay, I mean, we can handle that. So still images, render variants, and it's just going right now, even though we can't see it going. So to actually see it go, you might just have to go to where's our thing, random test, and there we go. So that's all of our variations there. It just spit them out really quick because it's a pretty easy scene, right? So that's all our variations of different objects, top objects, bottom objects. And that's really all there is to it. I mean, we just randomized a whole bunch of images there with 2 objects. And that's the key. That's really the crux of the entire thing. I mean, it's from there, it's just adding more interesting elements, more elements. One interesting feature with this is that you can basically use a whole collection as an object. So if you have really complicated scenes where one of these objects, where you actually want one of these objects to be an entire collection, that's really easy to do. You just have to make a collection instance, and then you can use your collection instance as an object in whatever sub collection, that's the word I'm looking for, and whatever sub collection in your host collection. So basically, yeah, I mean, you can use a collection instance as an object to get way more complicated and complex scenes going on. Animations, that's if you want to, if you have the timeline here and you have something built on something animated, because see, that's how it works right now. So each still frame, if you go still images, then each frame on your animation timeline is a different possibility. So that's how you can scroll through the possibilities there. Otherwise, if you want to randomize an actual animation, you can do that too. You have to just build your animation, and then you would choose this, and then it's going to actually spit out videos that are, rendered from the stills in your timeline, but using different collection instances or different instances from this proxy collection here that it builds. So, like I said, that's really all there is to it. I mean, you can even go, like I said, delete variants and select one of these things again. And then if we want all 30, say, So we're going to go 30. We want to generate all 30. And then it does stills, render variants. And let's see if you can watch it working here. It's, oh, did I close the freaking window? I guess I did. Random test. So now there's going to be 30. Yeah, 30 renders here. So going through all of them, these are just all the different variations, all possible variations actually. But you know, you can randomize the background, you can randomize the foreground, you can randomize, you know, you can really get creative. Even with the animations, you can randomize different actions, because you could have a different character. You could have the same character, but have him in different collection instances doing different, you know, things, different animation, you know, timeline actions, and then use those as your collection instances. So you could actually have videos with randomized things happening, you know. It's really as complicated as the time you want to put into building all of this stuff, because that's the thing, building assets, even if you're using pre-made assets from like CG Trader or whatever, just placing all of the assets and sizing them and customizing them how you want, and you know, getting, even if they're pre-rigged, actually posing them and animating them and getting things, you know, even if it's not an animation, just placing things statically and getting it to not interfere. Because as you can see, I mean, this is very basic here, but if you wanted to, say, do a character with different hair, say, you'd have to make sure that each hairstyle doesn't interfere with the clothes or doesn't clip out in some area where it looks bad. Because that's the thing, you see these things, they're just these objects. I can grab it, you know, if it's like that, it's clipping into this object here, you know. And if we're talking about a character and a hat on his head, you don't want his head to be showing through the hat or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, certain things just look bad. So you have to make sure that it's all set up and that it looks good and that the scene is what you want it to be. And particularly that every instance works with every other instance. Because that's the thing with randomizing, is that if you have two things that don't go together, like if they're placed in such a way where they clip out like this, and that's not what you want it to look like, then you're going to have certain variations that just stink, that just look unprofessional and bad. And, you know, the more elements and the more possible variations you have, the more you have to really pay attention to that and make sure that each thing basically occupies its own space, and that they have its own you know, three-dimensional area where it doesn't, you know, intrude in other things or whatever. And sometimes a little clipping here and there isn't a big deal, you know, like if you have plants and foliage in the scenes, you're probably going to have things sort of going through some of the leaves here and there. But it's just a matter of if you notice if it looks bad. That's the thing. Sometimes you have clipping, and from the particular angle, like if this is our angle here, you might not see certain things clip, or you might not care, or it might be totally irrelevant to the angle. So you have to really check your camera angle and set it all up. And again, too, you can go into the camera tab here, and just the camera alone, you know, you can, you know, zoom in, zoom out, you know, obviously move it, choose depth of field, make things blurry in the background, your color settings, your contrast. There's a lot there. So just setting up your scene and making it look good is kind of the main thing. Randomizing it, that comes second, you know. But once you do, I mean, it's, like I said, it's easy to do. It's super simple. I just basically did it, and, you know, there we go. So hope that helps, and have a good one. Let me know in the comments if there's any questions.